Welcome back to the Frith Guild podcast. I'm your host, Eric.
And I'm co-host Scott.
And today we're going over chapters 31 through 35 of Academy Arcanist. We are just blasting through. We're about halfway through October. We're getting close to Halloween.
Ooh, spookies.
I feel like at this point, Halloween is like the only thing fending off Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas.
It's trying its best.
I've seen stores that already have Halloween or Christmas stuff up, and I can't do it.
I know, I have neighbors with Christmas decorations up, and I'm like, this feels like pushing it a little.
Right. Goodness. Anyways. With that, do also like to thank everybody for listening. If you can do us a favor by sharing, subscribing, all that fun jazz. We are slowly getting more subscribers on the YouTube channel. I think we're up to like 40 now. So that's awesome. I appreciate everybody that has subscribed to the YouTube channel. Let us know how we're doing and if we can do anything better, if there's anything different you'd like to previously do. I do also want to mention the Frith Chronicles Wiki link is in the description down below, along with the link for the Capital Station Discord server, so you can hop on over and join in on the fun over there. And that will also have all of the rest of Shami's works that she has. So there is like a little bit of anything and everything that you might want to possibly read. I just finished listening to Half-Life Empire, and I'm not a post-apocalyptic alien kind of person, but Shami's writing is just that good. I really enjoyed it. And with that, we'll get into today's chapters.
We'll start with chapter 31, Reapers and Knightmares. So we have Soren and Gray. They are debating running after Nini, who just left the cafeteria in a hurry after upsetting all the girls. Soren is doing his good knightly duty and says, hey, we don't really know what happened. We shouldn't hold any judgment. There's a little bit of debate. They're like, well, we know she bonded with a Reaper, so something's going on. She obviously did kill a family member. But we do have to remember that Soren could have bonded with with the Reaper. So there's technically, I won't call them loopholes, but it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It is very circumstantial. They do end up heading to the treehouse, and Thurin is able to find her. Essentially what happened, she was at the table with all the girls, and Maxie called out the fact that she bonded with a Reaper, and that does mean that she killed a family member, and the girls freaked out a little bit. Gray says, hey, we already knew, we don't really care, it doesn't bother us. Nini merges with Waste, which is pretty cool. We get to see kind of our first Reaper merge going on. Soren merges with Thurin, so we've got a whole bunch of our little merged people running around the treehouse.
I feel like Gray's kind of left out of this because he hasn't merged with anything. I feel like he should have been okay, we got to try this out because obviously this looks super cool.
Yeah, he can. He can do either one. And then we do have a very cute moment of our two little merged Nightmare and Reaper holding hands.
Oh. And that's where chapter 32, Star Shard Shower and the Nimbus Sea starts up. And again, if I were Gray, I would totally have been like, all right, we gotta transform into a Nightmare, and we gotta try how this is, because this feels awesome. I also love how Waste kind of just slowly embraces her, and that's how he emerges.
It's like putting on a big blanket.
Exactly. But alas, the day is getting over with, and we need to begin our trek up Death Mountain. I mean, the mountain up to the Nimbus Sea. And again, I love her writing. I love the way that she describes things in such a great way that you can see it in your mind's eye with no problem. And again, I imagine there's lots of places that she got inspiration from with her writings. We've seen some other instances of inspiration, and I just love the reference or the nod to Death Mountain with the clouds forming a ring around it and getting above that. We get to the peak of the mountain, and I would absolutely love to observe for myself the Star Shard Shower and to be able to just see the stars from up there. I know, Scott, you're more so in the city, right?
I am, but I grew up in the country.
Okay.
Where seeing the stars was an extremely common thing. So I have seen a meteor shower before. It's super cool. I do want to see the star shard shower because it sounds a little bit more sparkly and magical, and you get to see them actually come down versus just kind of streak through the sky.
And that definitely seems like a super cool thing. So again, there are so many things that I would love to just be able to do in this series. Now, they aren't there just to witness the star shards coming down. They will have to go out and collect as many as they possibly can. And we are told a rough value of how much one star shard is. And Nazbit says that it is roughly 2 years of a family's own shop is their income. And that's how much a star shard is valued at. So these are just falling down from the sky. They don't have to put any real work into it. It's not like they have to excavate it or process it. They can just walk over and grab it. They do get split up into groups of 3, and it's so funny to see how Professor Zahn does not know anybody's name except for Soren and Gray. Like everybody else he calls some random names.
And you can just feel the frustration with Nazbit. Like, he wants so bad to be recognized and cannot get it.
Especially because he has all the answers. So now Gray, Ashlyn, and Nazbit happen to become into a group themselves of 3 and cue the playful banter between Gray and Ashlyn here.
That brings us to chapter 33, Surprise. So Ashlyn thinks they're being watched. And honestly, if you think about it, they have a dragon, a giant stone golem, and Soren. If you want to follow this group, there's nothing stopping you. They also come to kind of the edge of the mountain, and nobody really wants to go near the cliff edge. I don't blame them. It is steep. It does feel very much like you're going to fall off and die. But of course, we get into a competition between Ashlyn and Gray. So they try and get close to the edge about it. Nazbit jokes a little bit about like Ashlyn's not worth your life, like it's not worth it, don't do it, don't push your luck. But Gray does try and have Twain transform into an Encanto. He wants to use the telepathic force to be able to retrieve the star shard. Unfortunately, he can't control the magic. The Encanto is a lot more mature than he is, and he ends up blasting the whole star shard as well as a giant boulder away. Or lacking a little bit of finesse on that one.
Whoops.
Yeah, just a little whoops. We do also learn, and of course coming from the wealth of knowledge, that Ashlyn is pretty much expected to be the top of the class. That's really where her family is expecting her to be, and that's the expectation that she's supposed to achieve. And as this is happening, we do get to see a giant tree start falling at Gray.
And this is where chapter 34, how long do Arcanists live? Start up. What would you do if you had a giant tree being thrown at you?
I actually don't have a plan for this one.
Like, I've had thoughts of, like, what if I'm attacked by a bear? Like, could I take a bear barehanded? You know, like, no weapons?
You debate a lot of things. Like, yeah.
Right.
That's
trees being thrown. Not one of them. Honestly, Gray, you need to get your magic under control and stop trying to hurt things and get hurt yourself. Sorry. So Nazbit was talking about how they're basically trying to avoid slipping down the edge. And I really want to know, would the stone golem Brack, would he take falling damage regardless of the material beneath him?
To me, this feels like, is his stone harder than the ground? Probably. Like, I feel like
I can give it that. Yeah. Actually, if it was like a diamond he fell on, probably a different story. But I think he would survive and manage, you know.
Get chipped a little.
Now, thankfully, Gray is thinking like a mimic Arcanist. He turns himself into a Rizzle Arcanist and ends up turning Twain into Reeve, or Zahn's Rizzle. We don't really know his Rizzle's name yet, and again, Gray's kind of not sure which Rizzle it's supposed to be, whether it's supposed to be Reeve or Zahn's. I think all the Rizzles have blue eyes and are all generally the same color and pattern, so it may be a little bit difficult for him to tell, but either way, they're gonna get out of there by teleporting And Gray has some serious cojones because not only is he going to teleport himself, he's going to teleport two other people and 2 other Eldrin that are not small.
No, big ones.
And as they land back on the path to get up to the top of the mountain there, Brack ends up dropping the glowstone lantern that they have. And all I can think about with Brack is that he is straight up Baymax from Big Hero 6. And he's just trying to pick up the remnants of the glowstone. And he doesn't have any fingers or dexterity, so he can't like just pick it up. And he's just trying to scoop it back up, and he's just holding it because he doesn't know what else to do.
Just stuck with it. That movie's so cute.
He's got some kind of connection with it. I think there's something going on here. Gray's telling them someone is trying to kill him, and basically he has no idea why. And Nazbit's just like, why would somebody be trying to kill you? Like, this is more absurd than anything else. And this is also where Nazbit gives us some more information about Ashland's dad and his expectations. About how, again, like you said, she's expected to be the top of her class, and that her brother never got a demerit while in school, so she better not get a demerit. And there's a lot of weight on her shoulders. We finally get to the top, and everybody else is back with their star shards. They didn't want to let anybody know about what happened because he doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know if the headmaster is trustworthy. And I mean, shoot, he's the headmaster. You should hopefully be able to trust him. Nazbit does feel the need to make sure that something is mentioned, and he claims that he was attacked. And from there, Zahn basically teleports everybody to the basement, and he makes sure he's got all 9 Arcanists and their Eldrin, not leaving anybody behind, like somebody. She'll never live that down. I also find it interesting that they mentioned that it only takes up to 7 years to become a Master Arcanist. I know it was probably brought up previously in the other books in the first series, but it seems like such a very short amount of time because they only stay a journeyman for an apprentice for a year or 2, and then they go to journeyman, and then from there they go to master. But I feel like they live forever, literally could live forever.
And you get to master so quickly.
You're leveling up super fast, and then you bottleneck. Like, does everybody become a Grandmaster if they live forever?
Probably not. I feel like that's one you gotta really train for. Like, the length to get to Master and then to get to Grandmaster, Grandmaster's probably more than it was to get to Master.
Well, and especially because you have to be able to control your aura. You have to be able to manifest it and maintain it and be able to control it. So I imagine that's a very difficult thing, regardless of who you are, what kind of Eldrin you have. So, I mean, we saw how much Volk had a problem or had difficulties with maintaining and mastering his aura, so you can only imagine the difficulties everybody else would go through to get there.
That brings us to chapter 35, the basement. So Soren thinks somehow, like, these attacks, the Helmuth disappearing, Helmuth was the one kind of protecting Gray before, so these seem very related. They do see that there's another gated crossing that's being built, and Zahn tells them that this one is going to be open permanently instead of having to be activated every time they need to send a boat through. But they do need to essentially attach or imbue artifacts of where the gates are going. That's how they're actually connected and the teleportation works. This one is supposed to go to the Amber Dunes, but all the students, of course, have vacationed there before, and they disagree. They're like, this wouldn't have been there. This Eldrin wouldn't have been there. It's so posh and just bougie. I go to the Bahamas quarterly, and there are definitely no sand crabs there. They also, and this is very cool, not something I originally thought about, but they do actually have non-magical teachers in classes there as well. So in addition to all of everything else, they get math, and they get, how to write, and all of those things that they definitely need as well.
Math is important, okay?
It is. It is.
And being able to read and write is also extremely important. So, everybody hates having to go through that first semester of college, having to do another English class and another math class, because why not?
Gotta get those gen eds in, but yeah, it's not something I originally thought about, but it makes sense that they have to learn it anyway.
And I like that it's not, like you said, it's not a magical instructor. It's a mortal that is instructing it. And not saying they get the stupid, boring classes, but it's cool that they have others integrated as well. It's not just Arcanist. With the Gate of Crossing being built and it being left permanently open, I feel like that would cause problems.
It seems like it would. There's a lot of stuff that I was like, wouldn't you just get like stuff like trash blows through, like oh, there's a dust ball blowing through the gate. Like, it seems like there's got to be someone just to go like crossing guard somewhere monitoring.
Imagine you just hauling ass through the desert and then all of a sudden you're swimming through the ocean. Like,
went through the gate again. Turn around, guys.
Come on. Hopefully we can get back. But with that ends this week's chapters of 31 through 35. We're nearing the end of the first book in this series, so we're
2 more sections.
I love the basement. I love it. Everything is mentioned as the basement and not foundation floors. It's the little things in life. But with that, Scott, do you have anything else you'd like to add this week?
Nope, all set.
All right, we'll just keep on plugging away and get through the next chapters. All right, catch you guys next week.